This article comes from the January 1967 issue of IronMan Magazine. Scott, Oliva, Yorton, Draper win top IFBB physique titles by Franklin Page. To my thought, this contest presented the most outstanding aggregation of physical development in this country, and that's putting it mildly. Some of the greatest men to appear on any platform were here to provide authentic thrills. Among them were Larry Scott at his best, Harold Poole showing one of the really great physiques of all time, Chuck Sipes with a development that defies description and a demonstration of phenomenal strength, the spectacular Sergio Oliva, Dave Draper continuing his progress toward a physique that will make history, Chet Yorton finally coming into his own as one of the greatest strength athletes in the country, Frank Zane fulfilling his earlier promise with a new intensity of muscularity and posing finesse, Vic Downs to provide one of the big surprises of the show with fabulous definition and size, Gabriel Boudreau with probably the most tremendous physique ever seen on a short man, the young Tommy Abar establishing himself as a coming star of the first magnitude, and on and on. First, the titles. Mr. America, Chet Yorton. Mr. World, Sergio Oliva. Mr. Universe, Dave Draper. Mr. Olympia, Larry Scott for the second time. The runners-up, many of whom could have won a major contest, were Rock Stonewall winning the short class in the Mr. America, Frank Zane winning the medium height Mr. America, and Tommy Abar, who placed second in the same class. Don Howarth, who placed second to Yorton in the tall class of the Mr. America. In these respective classes, Stonewall, Zane, and Yorton were the most muscular. In the Mr. World, Elliot Gilchrist, at the age of 39, won the short class, representing Grenada. Burnell Williams of Bermuda placed second in the class, and Jermaine Godbout of Canada placed third. In my opinion, Godbout showed one of the finest, most symmetrically developed physiques in the contest. Very muscular, but not as massive in size. He is an outstanding poser. In the tall class of the Mr. World, Sergio Oliva walked away with the attention of both audience and judges. It would be a mistake to overlook the splendid physique of Alan Keene of Natick, Massachusetts, who was tremendously developed and far more muscular than ever before, and with a body of notable symmetry and grace. In third place was Vic Downs of Scarborough, Ontario, Canada, who emerged in my eyes as the really big surprise of the evening. Downs at the age of 37 has improved spectacularly, with tremendous size in every body part and definition beyond belief. This is a really great physique, developed by a man beyond what is usually thought to be in the prime for bodybuilders. He has a fine personality and character, handsome appearance, and is a remarkable man in every respect. In the Mr. Universe contest, Gabriel Boudreau, who I was especially looking forward to seeing, was even better than I had been led to expect. His muscles are massive, crisply defined, and flawlessly proportioned. He too is unusually fine-looking and makes an indelible impression under lights. He won first spot in the short class. Runner-up to him was Katsuki Osaka of Japan, showing intense muscularity with the muscles nodding and wreathing all over his body. John Maldonado was third. In the tall class of the Mr. Universe, it was Dave Draper all down the line. What incredible development this man has, and what a dynamic personality on stage. Draper is unquestionably one of the all-time greats, with an upper body of massive size and keen separation and definition of every muscle. His legs are still a bit light, but I am told this is not because of neglect of them, but because they are unduly stubborn. To see Draper is to see one of the greatest sights in the strength world, and he is a young man of unusual poise and intelligence. Runner-up to Draper was Jorge Briscoe of Argentina, an athlete of fine proportion and elegant style of presentation. In third place was Glenn Wells of Nassau, Bahamas, who is truly something to see. But his peculiar, deliberate style of posing made him seem almost drugged. But his development, much better than was last year, was fantastic. The Mr. Olympia contest was a bruising experience for the judges who faced a choice between Scott, Poole, Sipes, and Oliva. Harold Poole has never been better. He was bigger than before and with every muscle detail and sharpest relief. His dignity and poise in posing is beyond reproach, and it is clear that this is a man of most outstanding men in the world today. One cannot help but get a thrill when one thinks of Harold's perseverance over the years, from a teenage marvel to the magnificent athlete he is today. It was difficult, I know, for him to lose this title, since he had obviously worked for it with all his might, and I hope he will rise above the disappointment to the stature of the truly great man he is. Chuck Sipes was a marvel of massive muscular size and definition and splendid proportions. Chuck's arms are one of the great sights of all muscledom, and his chest and abdominals hard to match. He is the personification of strength and power and one of the finest men in the game. His is also one of our really great physiques. Sergio Oliva is spectacular. No other word will do. He has developed great poise on the platform, and his muscularity is incredible, with striations in every muscle group. But it was Scott again, successfully defending the title with a physique of radiant quality and titanic proportions. He has the element of personal glamour and sense of timing that make his posing perfection. To have seen Scott this night was to experience physical development at its best. One should note, too, the great showing of Eddie Bates of Trinidad, standing 4 foot 11 inches, packed with muscle from head to toe. The great promise of Robert Ascalosi of Clark, New Jersey, who at 17 shows a physique of great power, comparable to any mature man. And at the other end of the age scale, the dramatic muscularity of Hank Zarko at the age of 37, with slabs of abdominals, swelling pecs, and heavily muscled legs. Recognizing the great accomplishments of all these men and many others, one must come back to Chet Yorton. It was one of the treats of the contest to see Chet as he was then. Bigger than ever, fantastically defined, marvelously proportioned, and dramatically presented. He had improved his weak points of last year. His muscle size is immense, but so clearly defined that the muscles literally leap from his body. Yorton must now be considered at an all-time great of the very top rank. His physique is of ruggedly muscular kind that indicates enormous strength, and Chet has now succeeded in bringing out all his potential. It is perhaps not a technically beautiful physique like Zane's, Abar's, Godbout's, but it stands as a truly great accomplishment of muscular strength and power. He must now take his place as one to be considered in a world class, and he has the character, intelligence, and personality to carry this responsibility. As an added treat, Chuck Sipes performed strength feats of high caliber. He bent a 60-penny nail, bent a steel reinforcement bar in his teeth, broke a steel jack chain in his hands, and blew up and burst a hot water bottle. In my opinion, Chuck is certainly one of the strongest men in the world today, and to watch his powerful muscles work against steel and conquer it was the thrill of a lifetime. He may very possibly be our greatest strength athlete, and it is to be hoped he will receive every support to continue. Chuck is a very great man indeed. As a whole, the show was smoothly run in every development due to the sterling efforts of Bud Parker, John Twitchell, and their associates. The afternoon prejudging went like clockwork, finishing a full hour before expected, and the show was over promptly at midnight as advertised. The judges were Leroy Colbert, Ed Jubenville, Jules Levine, Tom Minicello, to whom I am grateful for many kindnesses and assistance, Chuck Renslow, Dr. Kemoyne Voyages, and this reporter. They acted with fine, good conscience and care. In summing up, I still vividly recall the impressions of Draper, Scott, Sipes, Poole, Yorton, Zane, Downs, Boudreau, Abar, and Ascalise, for various reasons. They are all men of assurance and solid accomplishments. The one other spectacular star present was Don Howarth, who disappointed a bit, in my eyes, because of his very light legs and abdominals in relation to his immensely broad and massive shoulders. His arms are bigger and better shaped than ever, obviously in the 19-inch bracket, with full biceps and deep triceps, but it is clear more is needed. Before ending this report, I would like to make special mention of Ed Giuliani and Roman Austin, another youngster, who were, I thought, especially outstanding men. A great evening it was, setting a still higher standard for physique presentation. 1966 IFBB contest, September 17th, Brooklyn Academy of Music. Audience biggest ever, people standing in the back and hundreds turned away. Outstanding acts of strength, balance, and music. Results: Mr. America, short class, first, Rock Stonewall, second, Hank Zarko, third, Ed Giuliani. Medium class, first, Frank Zane, second, Tommy Abar, third, William Beach. Tall class, first, Chet Yorton, second, Don Howarth, third, Dave Shepard. Overall winner, Chet Yorton. Most muscular, Rock Stonewall. Best arms, Chet Yorton. Mr. World, Short class, first, Elliot Gilchrist. Second, Burnell Williams. Third, Jermaine Godbout. Tall class, first, Sergio Oliva. Second, Alan Keene. Third, Vic Downs. Winner, Sergio Oliva. Most muscular, Sergio Oliva. Best arms, Sergio Oliva. Mr. Universe, short class, Gabriel Boudreau, first. Katsuki Osaka, second. John Maldonado, third. Tall class, Dave Draper, first. Jorge Briscoe, second. Glenn Wells, third. Winner was Dave Draper. Most muscular, Dave Draper. Best arms, Dave Draper. Mr. Olympia, this contest had 4 contestants, each worthy of the title. Sergio Oliva, Chuck Sipes, Larry Scott, and Harold Poole. The winner, after prolonged deliberation, Larry Scott, prize $1,000. The end.